It's time to head to Manhattan. No, 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 not that Manhattan. A different Manhattan. You know, the one in Kansas. Today's video is thinking about ideas for how to bring passenger rail to Kansas State University, located in Manhattan, Kansas. As of fall of last year, Kansas State had just over 15,000 undergraduate students. This is a student body large enough to qualify for my Rallying for Collegiate Rail series, where we envision how to bring passenger rail of some form to college campuses. Why college campuses? Because college campuses have lower percentages of car ownership than most other areas. And because of this fact, colleges are places we should make an extra effort to bring passenger rail to. The only inner-city mass transit listed on the Kansas State Student Union website is a Greyhound bus. Namely, one Greyhound bus going westbound daily and one Greyhound bus going eastbound daily. It takes approximately 1 hour for the Greyhound to head from Manhattan to Topeka, Kansas, which does have an Amtrak station. For the record, Topeka is the closest Amtrak station to Manhattan, being about 55 or so miles away. So if you thought that the inner-city mass transit situation I talked about in the Penn State video is bleak, you're correct. But their transit situation is a bed of roses compared to Kansas State. Enough of my bleakness. Let's get to some good news, shall we? While there is only one rail track heading through Manhattan, the good news is that this rail track is not just any rail track. It's a rail track that connects to Topeka, which, as I said not too long ago, has an Amtrak station. And from Topeka, you can head east to Kansas City. Additionally, if you were to go west, the trackage that goes through Manhattan would eventually take you out to Denver, Colorado. So potentially, Manhattan, Kansas could become part of a passenger rail line between Kansas City and Denver. And I think it should be part of a passenger rail line between Kansas City and Denver. As to what that Kansas City to Denver line looks like, along with the potential challenges that need to be overcome to make this line possible, I plan on covering that in another video. But to focus back in on Manhattan as well as Kansas State University, there's one issue I should highlight with the location of the trackage in question, in relation to things at Kansas State in particular: proximity, or a lack thereof. The trackage is about 1.3 miles away from the Student Union building at Kansas State, and even further away from their football stadium and basketball arena. That is not ideal, but I'm not sure it is such a catastrophic issue that we need to find a way to get rail trackage closer to the campus there. I think a better solution is to extend one of the local bus routes in Manhattan to a Manhattan Amtrak station once built. There's already a bus line running about 0.2 of a mile from the trackage as is, albeit on the wrong side of a 4-lane boulevard, so the extension to an Amtrak stop need not be long. It's not a perfect solution, but I think it's the best balance of maximizing service while minimizing disruption to the residents of Manhattan and the students of Kansas State. Outside of the trackage that goes between Kansas City and Denver by way of Manhattan, I look to see whether there are any other possibilities for rail connections to Kansas State. I thought for a minute about the possibility of a north-south rail line, with Omaha, Nebraska being at the north end of the route, Manhattan being in the middle part, and Tulsa, Oklahoma in the southern end. However, I'm not convinced there's enough demand there to justify the money that needs to be spent on installing hundreds of miles of trackage for this route. Besides, if we were to have a north-south route in this part of the United States, it makes much more sense for it to go through a major city like Kansas City, which is about 115 miles east of Manhattan. So, what are your thoughts on getting passenger rail to Kansas State? Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a good day.